first type of problem I'm going to discuss are thermal management systems. And the way we're going to break this down is kind of go into the different applications that this can solve for. And then if you have any questions about these specific applications, we can set up a meeting offline, or in the future we'll have more videos associated to these specific industries. But for thermal management systems, we're talking about anything where you have a heat exchanger with a coolant loop, and you're trying to cool something. In this case, it's an automotive cooling system, but it could be anything else. And then this could be used to find the appropriate sizing for the radiator, for pumps or fans, or setting the thermostat, and then can show you what the overall system efficiency is. So here we see a video, and this is an automatic cooling system, but over on the side we see our different components, and you can categorize them into any different folders. You can also quickly do a search, and it'll find everything that's associated to that, and that'll be searching the name, the path, and you can also add a description for any component. And then as we look up here on the top, you see we have a ribbon interface. So everything that you need should be very easily accessible. Within all of these components, there's potentially a lot more information. So here we're going to look into the inside of a component, and this is made up of several different flow bars. In here we could change the images, change the titles. As I mentioned earlier, everything within ThermoFlo is completely customizable. There's nothing really hard-coded. Here we see the equation for U, and then as you go into our calculator, it'll actually show you a nicer version of that expression, and you can look in and see any kind of solver variables you can add. You can add in user properties, which were created for this form, tables and functions, and then use these to create your calculation. This is kind of the heart and soul of the user interface for ThermoFlo. For all components, you're going to have a set of user properties, and that's what the user is actually going to see. And then this is laid out in a form so you can put those into frames and have that as an advanced frame so that they know they don't have to necessarily answer that. And then that'll make a sort of a user property window like this. So the end user, this is generally what you're seeing. Once the component is created, then that's going to go into the database, and you'll just be pulling in from that. We also have fairly simplistic models that are included. Here's just like a straight pipe, and so you can see there's only a few questions asked about that. But what's actually going to get sent to the solver are these solver properties here. So at any point you can look at what the true solver properties are, and that's what it's going to solve on. That'll convert all of the units. One nice thing is that on any property you can always enter in whatever unit you happen to want, so that you're not having to initially say I want everything to be in English units or something like that. Everything can be changed as you bring the data in. You can enter it in whatever you want. Here we see a table. Anytime you have a table, you can quickly look at a chart of it to make sure that that's accurate. And looking into the detail here, you can see this is another component here, and you can size where your ports are so that they'll be in the right location. You give them all names so that people know how to accurately do them. And then you can also apply any kind of in the basic things. The way it works, you have your solver properties, and then those are actually going to be tied into your user properties. So here we see that like the cross-sectional area is tied in this situation to the diameter. And for our components we've included, that's automatically done. But as you create your own components, that'll be kind of how it's set up, and we have some videos explaining how to work on that. Next, one thing you can do to your model is add in any sensors. And this can be as simple as just saying, I want to see the temperature output at this point, or it could be more complicated, showing a full function so that it could be maybe determining the efficiency of your radiator. And then that, while it's running, we'll plot that. When we go to run, it's going to give us errors and warnings. And here we can see there's an error. If you just click on the error, it immediately takes you to the form where that is. And in this case, it's just that we haven't entered in a property. And then warnings will be saying that something is out of the expected range. generally.